All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is going to be an in transit, and I want to touch on the trade war that's going on right now between the United States and China. All right, United States and China is in a trade war, and they're increasing tariffs on each other. The tariffs right now against China is 145%, and China just raised their tariffs against the United States to 125%. So we about to see some major price hikes in the grocery stores, man. And they say they went into effect today. So, you know, there's something called a tariff sheet that the importers have, right? Now, what does tariffs mean? Just say tax. It's really tax. So when it's tariff sheet, they know what they got to pay. So it's a 125% tax that they got to pay on everything that's coming from China. So what are they going to do to get that money back? They got to raise the prices. So we about to see some price hikes, man. All right. So the people really pay for these tariffs, you know, being raised, you know. So when you hear China saying 125% tax, tariffs or levy, whatever you want to use, that's meaning that you're going to have to pay more. All right. Yale did the math on it, and they said for the average household, that's almost $5,000 more that you'll have to make a year in order to cover, you know, these tariffs and all of that. And, you know, most families are just scraping by. They're going from check to check. Where's anybody going to get $5,000 more, right? So, hey, look out for that. Major price hikes. And things about to get real hairy here in a second. But also, Xi Jinping said this 125% tariff that they just put on the United States, they said that's the cap, that's the limit. They're not going to rise it anymore. But if they do have to retaliate against America, that they're going to use other tools. Now, what is these other tools they talking about? Well, let's go back a year where the FBI director was warning the Senate that China has been gaining access to critical infrastructure systems here in the United States for years. The whole electrical grid, communications, transportations, banking, so forth and so on, medicine, everything. And he was warning that when they cyber attack, the United States is going to be 100 times worse than that AT&T hack. It's going to be 100 times worse. They're going to knock out the whole electrical grid, and for the whole United States, all communications, all water treatment facilities, man. They're going to knock out everything, all communication, all banking, all medicine. Everything stops. All right. So I believe this is the tools he's talking about. Don't forget, they're tired of America. They talking that shit. So I want you to hear it for yourselves, man. I'm about to play it here on CNN. You got a reporter. He's over there in Beijing, and he's giving you the goods. He's letting you know Xi Jinping tired of America, tired of bullying, and he says that that's the ceiling, and he's going to use other tools. So now he has upped the threats. He's like, well, he done with the trade war. He raised it 125. Now it's time to get in America's ass, basically. Reminds me of 1 Thessalonians 5:3, and I'm gonna loosely quote it. I'm driving right now, so I can't grab it. And they got this Black Beach shit going on, Black Spring Break. So it's a lot of traffic out here, and then they got cones in the middle of the street, so it wouldn't be wise for me to grab it. So I'm gonna loosely quote it. It says, when they shall say peace and safety, which people are saying peace and safety right now. They believe Trump is gonna make everything better. All right. They call him King Trump, and God is with Trump, and all this other shit. All right, so people, you know, they believe America's going to become a superpower among superpowers, man. All right, so they saying peace and safety right now. And it says, then sudden destruction will cometh upon them. Right. Now imagine China use those tools it's talking about. cyber attacks America, knocks out the electrical grid, or knock banking out. All right, cyber attacks America to where it can't even recover anymore. You know, that's right there. Hey, that's sudden destruction. All of a sudden, no matter who you was before the lights went off, it don't matter. Only thing that's going to matter in these times is what did you please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Imagine that all the lights go off through a cyber attack. All right, it don't matter if you was the vice president of this company or whatever. All of that don't matter. No more. That's sudden destruction, man. And then give it about a month with no electricity, you go less than that. People will turn cannibal. People will start killing each other. The crime rate is going to skyrocket, man. You see? And the only reason I'm talking about the cyber attack like this is because this is what the FBI director has been warning about for years, that China is going to cyber attack America. They say it's not a matter of if they do, but when. And now we have this very cloaked threat from China saying, hey, if I have to retaliate, it's going to be, we're going to use other tools. Come on, man. So let's listen to it.
Potentially and control that influence.
Fascinating to see how that could fundamentally change everything in the tech industry. David Collins, Rana Faruha, I appreciate you both being with us. Thank you. CNN's Mark Stewart joining us now from Beijing, where he's following Chinese reaction to the escalating trade war. A lot of reaction coming from Beijing this morning, Mark. What has been said in this tit-for-tat battle?
Hi, good to see you, Christina. Look, really two big headlines. The first one, China is retaliating further. Not a big surprise, but it is now retaliating, raising its tariffs on American imports to 125%. Going so far as to say it's not going to raise tariffs anymore. That's going to be the ceiling. But if it does need to retaliate, it will use other tools. Here's where things get interesting. We heard from a spokesperson from China's Commerce Ministry who brought up the point that this tariff game essentially is nothing more than a numbers game. That's the wording from this Chinese official. A numbers game with no real economic significance. Going on to say this whole tariff as a weapon is really turning the United States into a joke. So Beijing being very firm on this. The other big headline of the day is that we are now hearing from Xi Jinping, really his first remarks since things escalated to such a high level, saying that China is not afraid. He made those remarks with the Spanish Prime Minister during a visit here to Beijing. He went on to say that there are no tariffs, there are no winners in a tariff war, and that China will remain confident and stay focused. Very much in line with the remarks that we have heard before. As far as the timing, why is Xi Jinping speaking now? Well, one potential reason is the fact that he's about to go on a trip. He's going to go to Cambodia, he's going to go to Vietnam and Malaysia. These are nations where China has really strengthened its economic relationship to make this point that it doesn't need the United States to survive. And finally, Christina, we have heard the U.S. president say that Xi Jinping should pick up the phone. It's a message from the administration. I can tell you, as someone who is here in China, here in Beijing, very unlikely. In fact, if you look at the way the Chinese government operates, it prefers to have conversations with other diplomats, with people behind the scenes, before bringing it to a level of a phone call between these two leaders of state. So the message being, Christina, is that China certainly is preparing and views this perhaps as a fight for the long haul.
Yeah, it's doing things itself. Mark Stewart there with all the news out of Beijing. Thank you.
I'm going to have to be very negative and say, no, I don't.
Hey, you see that? Hey, things is heating up, man. Hey, China says, man, basically, they willing to fight until the end. And they no longer scared of America. See, America's been a bully, and people are tired of that. These nations are tired of that, man. But anyway, I arrived at my destination. I hope it was edifying. Hope you can get something from this. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.